What's up, Internet? This is Hourglass Gaming, and for today's video I wanted to do a Titan loadout review for a Titan that I've been using in Hardpoint Domination. For anyone who doesn't know, I've been getting more into objective-based games lately thanks to ranked play, and so I've been playing a lot more Hardpoint Domination lately. And for a while when I jumped into it, I wasn't sure of how to use my Titan. You know, Titans are kind of a less straightforward thing in objective-based games than they are in something like attrition. And so for a while I wasn't really using my Titan and I was mostly just running around as a pilot without it. But then I kind of started to try and figure out how to use the Titan effectively, and I have sort of settled on this loadout for a lot of my gameplay. So basically this loadout is specifically designed to lock down hardpoints and the avenues that you would use to approach them. So it's kind of an area denial Titan. So its weapons and abilities are going to be used to try and deny people easy routes to and from hardpoints, and try to kind of push people off of hardpoint. The point of the Titan is not necessarily to rack up kills, but is instead to try and keep enemies off of objectives. So with that in mind, the chassis that we're going to go with is going to be the Atlas. The primary weapon we're going to use will be the triple threat with extended magazines. The tactical ability will be electric smoke. Ordnance will be the cluster missile. Kit 1 will be tactical reactor. And Kit 2 will be Survivor. So now let's go through in a little more detail and talk about the logic behind each of those choices and how to use them. So I'm going to choose the Atlas because the Strider is going to be a little too weak for these kind of situations. Basically, you're going to want to initiate and be able to hold engagements. So you are not going to be a flanking force, and you're not going to be kind of trying to sneak around the map or utilize a Strider-like mobility. You kind of want to be going straight in and bluntly initiating engagement. And so with that in mind, I don't think the Strider's maneuverability really complements this class at all, and its lack of health more hinders it. Now, I think that the Ogre is a legitimate choice for this class, and I think you can make it work with this class. However, I prefer playing with the Atlas. Just in general, I think the Ogre is really slow, and I kind of feel like I'm running through the mud when I'm in it, and so I prefer using the Atlas, but I think either the Atlas or the Ogre can work with this class, and it's really just up to your choice. Now for the primary weapon, I'm going to use the triple threat, and what I'm going to try to do with this is anticipate my enemy's movements and prevent them from being able to move that way. So for example, if you see a Titan moving up a street, you can put down a volley of grenades in front of them, and then they can either keep running and get hit by that volley of grenades, or they can try to find another route and they'll take damage. And in either of those cases, you've won, because either they're taking damage and then they're injured and you can try to finish them off, or they've tried to find another route and you've kept them from getting to hardpoints under your control for that much longer. And so that's kind of the point of this Titan, is to keep people away from your hardpoints or to push people off of their hardpoint. So in either of those instances, you win. Now, in terms of the modification for this weapon, you can use Minefield. I recommend the extended mags. And so basically, the Minefield will allow you to kind of more comprehensively defend hardpoints, I think, because you can put mines down in one area and then go defend another area. And then if you are kind of waiting for enemies and you get hit markers, then you know they're coming from behind you and you can kind of turn and reorient your defense towards that. So mines potentially allow you to defend a larger area effectively. However, you have to keep in mind that the minefield modification only allows you to have 3 volleys of mines out in the world at any given time. And so it's not like you can just saturate the world with mines. You know, you're fairly limited in what you can defend. And so while it's more comprehensive than the extended magazine triple threat, I still think the extended magazine triple threat and the enhanced damage output that that weapon allows you is going to be able to give you kind of more of an upper hand in engagements against Titans and pilots, particularly because the triple threat relies so much on you predicting your enemy's movements. You want to saturate the potential space of where they will be in a few seconds with mines, and so having an extra volley can make the difference between securing a kill and not. So that's why I choose to use the extended mag. Following the same logic for our use of the triple threat, we're going to use electric smoke for the tactical ability. And again, this will allow you to lock down approaches to hardpoints. So you can deploy smoke at a choke point, and your enemies then have a choice either to move through it and take the damage, or to find another route. And again, if they do either of those things, then you've won. And this is also going to give you kind of the upper hand in tight indoor situations. A fair number of Titan hardpoints in Titanfall are focused on pretty condensed enclosed spaces where Titans can operate, but they're limited. And so in those spaces, deployment of electric smoke becomes a lot more enhanced. You know, if you're outdoors and someone rodeos your Titan and you deploy smoke, they can kind of just hop off and then go about their day. However, if you're indoors, then it becomes much more effective. And if they hop off and then hit the ceiling and drop back down, they're still in the smoke. You can start dashing around to try and crush them. With this Titan's loadout, you can fire cluster rockets and triple threat grenades to try and saturate the area to kill them with those. So you have a lot of tools with this loadout to fight in condensed spaces, make it very difficult for both pilots and Titans to move without getting damaged. And so I think it can be extremely effective in the role that this Titan's trying to play out. Once again, the cluster missile is just going to be a further extension of this. As always, you can pop it down on the ground and make your enemies either move through it or find another route. And it just gives you another tool to try and anticipate and lock down your enemy's abilities to move with. And so with the combination of all three of these, with the triple threat, the electric smoke, and the cluster missile, you're going to have a lot at your disposal to lock down people's abilities to move. And so if one fails, you have a lot more tools. It should also be noted that this Titan is extremely effective at assaulting hardpoints. If you're attacking a hardpoint that's in a building, you can fill that building with grenades and smoke and a cluster rocket, and then wait for those all to disperse, having killed any occupants, and then you can take the objective kind of unhindered. And so it's an extremely effective weapon, both attacking and defending in condensed spaces and for locking down avenues of approach. Now for the first kit, we're going to go with the tactical reactor, and this is going to get us more frequent access to electric smoke. So this will just give us a better tool with which to engage rodeo pilots, and also it'll help us lock down space more frequently. Basically, the more you get electric smoke, the more you can use it, and the more you can effectively lock down approaches with it. However, the tier 1 kits, I think there's a lot of really good ones for this class. The fast auto loader, kind of in a similar logic, will get you access to cluster missiles faster. So again, more cluster missiles you have, easier it is to lock down approaches. So I think that's a legitimate choice. The nuclear eject definitely fits with the area denial and splash damage theme of this loadout. You know, if you're defending a hard point and people are trying to attack you and you eject and you nuclear blast anyone in the area, then that's kind of achieving the same thing. I don't really like to use the nuclear eject. I think it's kind of like a dishonorable way to kill people. So I don't really like to use it, but if you want to, then you're definitely welcome to. Also, the regen booster is going to help you get your Titan shields back up. And so this class has a lot of tools to disengage with. So you can put down area stuff, pop behind cover, get your shields back up, and then re-engage. And the regen booster is just going to make that easier. So it's a very effective Titan for kind of, you have control over the engagement a lot of the time. So I think any of those kits are really viable, and it's just going to take kind of playing around and seeing what you want to use to kind of fit them to your playstyle. Now for the tier 2 kit, I definitely recommend going with Survivor. This is my favorite kit in the game. People often start to ignore you after they've doomed you, and you can definitely do a lot more damage even though you've been doomed. And Survivor is just going to allow you to extend that period of time. So I think it's a very effective kit, and I definitely recommend it. But anyway, that's about all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed and can put some of this to use. I'd love to know what loadouts you guys have been using to dominate in Hardpoint. So if you have any suggestions or would like to post your loadouts, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to see more gameplay and commentary, don't forget to like and subscribe. Most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.